this hall is meant for learning few things. I'll try and keep the session as light as possible. I'll be joined by my technical engineer, Clevis.
Hi, good afternoon all.
Okay, so we have a small presentation. What we are going to do is we'll run a small presentation for all of you. Then there will be a small demo kind of thing wherein we show how things work at the back end as well, so that you have an understanding about it. And then we'll have a Q&A. Yeah? Okay. Can we roll the slide? Oh, the clicker is here. This is an interesting stat here, which says that currently, say in 2020, 20% of the global enterprises were leveraging the API-enabled conversation. Now, this number is going to grow to 95% by end of 2025. So, why should we care? Because what is important is we should be able to structure our conversation in a way it has to be delivered, the way we want the customer to perceive it, and the way we want the customer to understand it. You know, that's very important for us, because we know how to send out the communication, but sometimes what we miss out is what to send out to the customer. You know, so the mix of both is essential for us when we are talking of conversation, especially conversational experience, which is the new thing, the thing which is in right now, and everyone is talking about it. So that is something which we'll look at today. We have this ecosystem which is created. We know a bit of ecosystem which currently exists, which is around the traditional communication channel which you have with the customer. You have got this SMS and emails and all those stuff, and your contact centers, with which your customers can reach out to you, or you can reach out to the customers. But in parallel to that, there is a complete new ecosystem of chat apps which is coming up. You know, now these chat apps are of various origins. They are various lines of communications. You have got WhatsApp, the Vibers, the Lines, the Insta Messengers, the Facebook Messengers of the world. So you have got a complete parallel ecosystem which is getting created along with the traditional ecosystem that persists. Now, the new ecosystem, which is around the chat apps, is much more advanced, is much more efficient, and the deliverability is quite high. Why? Because on these channels, it's a two-way communication that you have with the customer. Unlike the previous traditional channels that you communicate with the customer, which is more of one-way, these are two-way. Now, what happens is here, you can send out promotional content to your customers. You can have different types of engagement points with your customers, and there you can spread your awareness, and you can create opportunities for a sale. Then the customer can have his consideration phase also on the same thing. Say, for example, today, if I have to give you an example of WhatsApp. So what happens on WhatsApp today, which is a chat app, you get a promotional message, right? So there are brands which are sending out promotional message to you. On this promotional message, if you like you can add products on Amazon or Flipkart, you can directly start browsing on WhatsApp in the same screen, whatever products you want to browse. Yeah. Then you can add it to your cart maybe, and then you can transact there and then. You can make payments without having to go outside of WhatsApp. You can do your payments, and you can get your delivery receipts and everything there. Post that, you can send out the delivery details to customers saying that, okay, your product is in transit, it will be reaching you on so and so date. And also, you can do your NPS and other surveys with the customer on the same app, with the same label. Yeah. So what happens is there is one handle with which you're contacting your customer, you are engaging with your customer, you're transacting with your customer, and then you are also servicing the customer. Yep. So it becomes relatively easy from an analytics standpoint also for you, because if you have multiple channels, then you have to keep watching those every channel and keep gathering information from every channel. Yep. This is a little bit about WhatsApp. So as you all know, most of us, majority of us, I can say, the first application that we're going to get up and open up is WhatsApp. Yeah, and WhatsApp is also going to be the last application we're going to watch out before going to bed. So WhatsApp has done a fabulous job in terms of creating the reach. WhatsApp is there. The statistics, you can see that the presence that is there globally. The WhatsApp data says the number of WhatsApp users will grow by 112% by 2025. Yeah. So WhatsApp is one great channel. We have a lot of brands who are already present on WhatsApp, either for promotions or for just for engagement or promotion, or for having transactions with the customer as well. Now this is the look and feel of, in case you have not experienced it, this is the look and feel of how the conversations on WhatsApp actually appear. So if you see, there is a header there, which is a verified sender. Now that is a recognition for a brand. Generally, if it's just a number or something, then the authenticity about the communication which is coming to you, especially in the online era when we are talking about phishing and online frauds and everything, it becomes slightly difficult from a trust perspective, you know. So this is there is a brand logo which is mentioned there. The messages, as you all know, WhatsApp always says it's completely encrypted from a security perspective. Then you have a two-way communication wherein you can send out a communication to the customer and the customer can respond to you back as well. And you can send out any types of communication. You can send out a text, you can send out a media, you can send out video, carousels, whatever you want to send out. You have the option of sending out rich content to your customers. And you also, unlike SMS, which is a traditional channel where you get only a delivered status, here you can get a read status also from the customer, which is very important, especially if you're a marketer. If you want to run campaigns and you want to know the efficiency and the efficacy of the campaign, you want to know if the ROI is getting, sufficient ROI is getting generated or not, are you able to reach the right kind of audience or not, then I think all this is very important. Yeah. Also, when you click the logo page, you can see the business details. So if the customer wants to see some information about the brand, you can have various details mentioned there. You can have your contact center numbers, your toll-free numbers, so on and so forth. You can have those details mentioned so that in case the customer wants to just see with whom he's chatting, and also you want to share some brand information, you can do that via that option, business info option. Now what we are saying is, first one was reaching out to your customer via the right channel. You should know where your customer is actually present. Now that has been a challenge with a lot of martechs, with a lot of marketing teams, platforms, in terms of not being able to reach out to your TG. Yeah. What happens is you run loads of campaigns, but again, you don't know how efficient those campaigns are, whether your TG is actually receiving the campaigns, is it the right set of TG or not. So there are a lot of questions that can be answered when you address the customer via the right channel. So WhatsApp is one channel which is there in place. The reach is created. It's easy for us to use that channel. And there are various use cases. Like today, if you see, there are multiple use cases that are being run on WhatsApp. Like I mentioned, we can show you some examples later. Wherein today, I don't know if you have experienced Uber being on WhatsApp. So today, if you don't want to go onto the application, you can do the booking via Uber itself. Jiva, for example, if you don't want to go to the website, or if you don't want to use the application, because what happens is, see, every brand has got its application. Majority of the brands have got its application, and every brand wants to run an adoption. Yeah, but just imagine the plight of a consumer. How difficult will it be for him to download multiple applications and then use all those applications, register on those applications, keep tracking those applications. But in case he has WhatsApp, and all the brands gradually are moving to WhatsApp, and all brands decide to uniformly move towards WhatsApp as a channel, then for customer, it's just one application that he's going to handle. Yeah, instead of multiple other applications that he needs to download and use, and he'll keep getting all the updates and everything. So it's going to be a new platform to engage. And the beauty of this application on WhatsApp is that it gets integrated with all your MarTech platforms. It gets integrated with your CRMs, so that there is a two-way flow of communication which happens via API transactions. Yep. And the last part is when you solution something for the customer, like I mentioned, it's also the last layer, which is going to be a SaaS layer which comes into the picture, which is your chatbots, which is your people modules, which is your conversation contact center solutions. Basically, say for example, you all understand chatbots. Yeah? What is chatbot? Chatbot basically, we'll show it to you in coming slides, but are of two types. They are AI based or a keyword based or rule based kind of stuff. Chatbot is answering the question. It's like, uh, a person actually answering to you. Yeah, you can personalize the chatbots to the extent that you want to. Now that is why that is done. Why is the need for chatbot is because not everyone finds answers to their questions maybe on the website or on the contact center, because the look and feel of every channel is different. For example, on a contact center there's an agent speaking, but if you also have noticed the way one agent speaks versus another agent speaking is very different. So you might not be able to deliver the same quality and the same emotion that you want to deliver even on the same channel. um, and also on the website, the customer might have to go here and there, visiting different tabs just to find what answers he want. Still, he might not get an answer. So to ease the life of the customer and to make our own life also easy, there was chatbots which were created. Yep. Similarly, contact center solutions. Now, we all know waiting on the toll-free line, majority of us have stopped doing it, right? I mean, who wants to wait on long IVR calls, waiting for an agent to come up and then explain everything? So people now, with the generation that's coming up, everyone wants to be on text as much as possible via the chat apps and everything. So how about getting your same agent solutions over the chat apps? So basically what happens is you start an interaction with the customer, then the interaction goes ahead. Maybe a chatbot can take over the interaction. Post the chatbot, there might be some things which the chatbot is not able to resolve, or you want to give a little more personal touch to the customer. So at that point in time, you have your contact center solution which comes into the picture, where there is an agent sitting, but he's not talking to you, he's typing. So the customer feels that he has got that personal touch where he understands and all. You might have experienced over various applications where this is already live. Yeah. So you get an advantage with chat apps as you get all the SaaS products which can overlay on the channel communications. So just for people if they're not aware, today getting your brand registered on WhatsApp is very easy. You just have to do a sender registration, which is an embedded sign-up kind of a thing. You have your Facebook Manager ID integrated with that, and then you send few templates which get approved by Meta, and in terms of what content is you're going to send. So that is just checked, and post that you just go ahead with your integrations. In case you want to have some SaaS portfolio along with that, then that is designed in terms of whether you want to have a chatbot, whether you want to have a contact center solutions, whether you want to have an automation, hyper personalization stuff coming in. So that is then integrated along with your chat app, and then you're good to go. You can go live with the customer and start interacting. The, the, the setup cycle is very short. It's very precise and efficient. And with experience that we have been dealing with customers for so long, it delivers a great ROI. That's the advantage of chat apps. This is a little bit about Infobip, who we are. So Infobip is a digital communication organization. We are present in more than 70 countries. We have offices in more than 70 countries. We service close to about 190 countries. A team of 3,500 plus engineers. So Infobip is someone who interacts with the MNO, which is the ground layer of services where your traditional channels come to the picture. Then over and above that, we have got our chat apps integration. So we are working with all the chat apps around the globe that are available. Over and above that, there is a SaaS portfolio which comes. So it's a complete COM architecture which is there, top down, which is required in order to manage your communications, day-to-day communications with your customers. I'll invite Clevis to take over from here. So Clevis will what we'll do is we'll show you how the front end works, which you'll experience. Clevis will take you through that, and also how the back end, while you experience how the front end works, what actually happens at the back end and how things are managed at the back end. Clevis, over to you.
Sure. Thanks, Nikhil. So like Nikhil rightly mentioned, so I will be basically talking about how easy it is on the platform to create your two-way communication journeys that you want to build. I'll be covering both the bot journeys that you can create. Also, post that, like he mentioned, you have the feasibility to transfer the entire conversation to an agent, where an agent can take over this conversation, post entire history of conversation that is created with the end users. So the kind of bots that you can build basically here is like a keyword-based or a rule-based bot, which is nothing but taking certain inputs from the end user, say a numeric input or a keyword, or maybe it can be certain button responses. So it will be more of like a menu-based or menu-driven conversation that you're creating. It will address probably maybe 99% of your journeys, but probably you'll also want to introduce an AI-based bot which will understand the intent of the end user. So basically here, he does not browse through the entire menu or the sub-menus that you have created. He directly jumps into that segment of the bot where he actually finds his answer. For example, directly asking what is the status of my order. So rather than him going through the entire menu-based, keyword-based bot, he will probably land into that section wherein he's asked about his order details and he gets those information right away. Also, it can be probably a hybrid, meaning you can have a combination of both of those created, wherein you have certain rule-based bots along with an AI-based intent that you want to create on the bot itself. Yeah, so talking about the platform, we call it as Answers. It's a chatbot building platform. It's a no-code or maybe code-free platform. All that you need to do is use the elements that you want to use and drag and drop those elements and create your journeys. So it is basically distributed into three sections. One is something that the bot sends. Second is something that the bot receives. And third is the actions that it can perform. So what the bot can send is probably an image, videos, or certain PDFs. And what it can receive is in the form of user responses. What is it that the user responds by maybe uploading certain documents or maybe certain responses that is giving. Uh, and you can capture those as attributes. So attributes are nothing but a short-term memory of the bot, which captures certain data. Say, for example, you asked him for his first name initially. So throughout the conversation, you would like to refer to him by his name and address him by his name, and then probably take the conversation ahead from there. So that is how you store that particular data within the platform and address or maybe use it for your further reference. Next, along with this, you also have a few more elements that are now introduced. So not just sending text messages or maybe rich carousel messages, you can also send list messages for a list of options the user can select from. Besides, to have a e-commerce kind of journey, you have product catalogs and multi-product catalog features, which the user can actually add certain items within his cart and probably complete his payments. Currently, it is happening, the payments are happening wherein the user is redirected outside of WhatsApp. He moves to the payment gateway, he completes his payment, and comes back to WhatsApp. But moving ahead now, since we are in beta phase, probably launching soon, wherein he can complete the payment within WhatsApp. So it's going to be UPI-based payment, WhatsApp Pay, wherein he does not move outside of WhatsApp and he completes his entire journey of the payments within WhatsApp itself. And then you have certain actions. So when do you use actions is basically when you want to integrate with your external system. So it is not just going to be a static bot. You will probably want certain data to be sent to or maybe fetched from your backend systems. So that is when you will use these actions, when you have certain API calls, webhooks, when it tries to interact with or maybe integrate with your backend systems to fetch that specific data. These were probably the elements that I was talking about. So again, like I said, it's not just restricted to keyword-based bot, intent-based bot as well. So when you're designing this intent-based bot, you'll have to train the bot. So the bot is continuously training itself. Against each intent or each keyword, we ideally have 400 phrases to identify the intent properly. Say, for example, it could not just be a specific language that he types in. Just for the sake of an example, if one might be typing saying, what is the state of my order, but other might be saying a little bit in English, like, mera order ka status kya hai. So it should be able to identify those intents and ideally take him to that particular segment. So the bot, I did not mention a few things here, but it also has capabilities of having multilingual support. Not just English, but yeah, you can have the feasibility to give it to the users to select his preferred choice of communication, and then the conversation further on the bot process with that particular specific language itself. Also, not restricting it to WhatsApp, you have, since we are talking about omni-channel, you can always replicate the similar experience on other channels as well. So once you have built or maybe created on a particular channel, you see responses is good, you have made certain modifications, you have made, or maybe finalized your bot, you always can replicate it on the other channels like GBM, RCS, or maybe Facebook Messenger, etc. So post this, so we saw all about bot answering those queries, and then what if there are certain times wherein I as an individual I have probably I still want to connect with some live agent. I have maybe probably got 50, 60% of my answers, but still for certain queries I want to have a live conversation with some support person or maybe some agent behind. So in that case, the bot can seamlessly transfer the entire conversation history to that agent, and then agent can have the entire history of what it was done, what was it like that he was looking at, or maybe it is not just restricted to that. It is also like since there are multiple entry points or maybe multiple channels that you're integrating, the interface for the agent remains same, and all that he gets is a unified view of the same user trying to converse with the same brand across multiple channels. So depending upon which channel he preferred or maybe wants to converse with, agent can simply just switch that particular channel and start conversing with that end user in that specific channel itself. For the sake of this session today, we have just created one small demo. I'll showcase the video of how the flow is, but if you could just scan this QR, you yourself can experience that. So we have just created a small keyword-based flow. Basically, it has three use cases. One is the onboarding journey. It's a mutual fund app kind of journey that we have created. One is the onboarding journey wherein his KYC is collected. Second one is opening an SIP, and third one is downloading a statement. So I show that video, but I think probably you can parallelly scan the QR and just experience this for yourself. So this is how the journey would look like. So this QR is one of the entry point. It could be any other entry point, like maybe his maybe a click to advertisement that you have published on your Facebook Manager or maybe Instagram. So as soon as he says hi, if he doesn't have an account, he says, no, I don't have an account, I want to open. So this is his KYC journey that begins. So it asks for his first name, last name. Also to add, WhatsApp is coming up with one more feature. Like now, for example, I'm asking this data like one by one, first name, next last name, next email address. But they're coming up with one more feature wherein you will have these forms which are created on the WhatsApp itself. So all that he needs to do in the one go, fill all his details and submit that particular form. So here I have just sent an OTP for verification as an SMS, post collecting certain data. It asks me to confirm if the details captured are right. It says it has got the details. Now it's going to transfer my conversation to an agent. Maybe for the rest of the piece wherein I have to upload certain documents, probably which cannot be taken on the bot, maybe that will be one of the use case. But yeah, from here it's transferring my call to an agent to pick it up. Agent has a list of maybe conversation pending in his list, pending in his queue. So as soon as I have a revert from him, he's saying, okay, probably I'll just check and see if all the information that I've given is, or maybe let me just verify your details. I say, okay, you can buy your time. So once verified, he said, okay, you have completed. Probably you can complete, maybe proceed with other things on the board, for example, creating your own SIP. So now what I've done next is this conversation closes here with the agent. So I'm reinitiating a conversation with the bot. I send a hi message once again, and I get the main menu, wherein this time I select creating an SIP. So the first example that we saw in that the bot handles the conversation along with it being seamlessly transferred to an agent. Now this is an example of product catalog. So you can create a catalog within your Facebook Manager. You can choose to add it as a cart and ask him to select that product. So here you have pricing information, everything that gets calculated, understanding, and then probably basis this you can generate your invoices probably. So here he has selected a fund, just an example of product catalog. He selects the tenure and the amount. This is the list button which I was talking about, which he can select from a list of options. And that's it. He has completed his journey on SIP creation. And just one more small thing that I've shown also is about the download statement, wherein post him giving the date range for which he wants to download a statement of. It connects back over an API call to the external system, gathers his data, generates a PDF, and shares that statement PDF with the end user. So here there's a call that happens to fetch the data in the specified range. So yeah, you should actually get a invoice generated.
I think it couldn't fetch. It was trying to fetch. I think so. Sometimes we have this glitch, and this is so basically this is what we wanted to showcase in terms of while it appears you must have tried on your handset. While the look and feel is different on your handset, but actually at the back end things are not as complicated and as dreadful as people feel. Oh, we are talking about automation. You're talking about hyper personalization. You're talking about integration. So things are not as difficult and as bad as they appear. So Infobip is a partner with WebEngage, and we have been working very closely with WebEngage and customers of WebEngage. So this was just to give you an information in terms of you can have your own chat app communication channel embedded into your communication architecture, along with maybe SaaS solutions like this to make your life and your customer life easy. Yep, that's all from our side. Thank you.